Hi, Shalom friends. There is a secret of becoming something. And that secret means that you first have to be willing to become nothing. But in order for you to become nothing, you first have to be something. So this is not a riddle or a koan. It's a Chassidic teaching. So let's break this down into something that we can understand. Imagine you walk into an academy where the students are studying Talmud. You go to a corner and you see two scholars analyzing a passage, and they're really excited and into it. And you're just watching in amazement and with the greatest respect, and suddenly one of them says, Ich verstehe nicht, I don't understand this. How could Rabbi Shimon say this and this? It seems to contradict that statement from Rabbi Yossi. And his friend tries to explain it. But the first gentleman says, well, I already thought of that, but that won't work. And after a good 40 minutes discussion back and forth, the second one says, it's quite difficult. I don't understand this either. And being that you were so impressed with this discussion, you pipe in, and I also don't understand it. Now clearly, with a smile on your face, you look at that person and you say, you don't understand it. Of course you don't understand it. They don't understand it. But you're not understanding and they're not understanding is of two different levels. You're a nothing who doesn't understand. They are a something which doesn't understand. And actually, because they don't understand, they're going to be motivated to find an ingenious solution, and then they will understand. The something that goes through that period of nothing will become a greater something. Okay, here you are, and you have a garden patch. You walk outside, and you talk to the ground, please bring forth tomatoes. You plead with the ground. You sing it. Of course, nothing grows. So you go to the nursery and you say, I don't know, what am I doing wrong? I want tomatoes to grow in the patch and it's not growing. He says, did you put in a seed? You say, no. He said, well, that's silly. Let me give you a packet of seeds, and you put it into the ground, and then you could hope to see some results. So you say to the nursery fellow, is this fresh? Is this good? He says, yeah, it's a fantastic seed. So he sells you a packet of seeds, and you're so excited that you have good seeds. You don't want it to get ruined. So you put it in a plastic bag, and then you bury it in the ground. And of course, every day you're out there talking to the ground and watering the ground, and nothing happens. Why? Well, you know the reason. Because though he put seeds into the ground, the seeds did not merge with the ground. Or to put it a little bit differently, the seeds remain seeds. For seeds to produce a fruit, they first have to become nothing. They have to disintegrate. They have to merge with the ground. And then, when something becomes nothing, a bigger something is created. Well, that's very interesting, but if so, you say to yourself, then why do I have to put it into the ground? Why don't I just take seed, put it into the water, and let it become nothing in the water? And the answer is, all you're doing is ruining the seed. It's not the purpose of nothing for the purpose of destruction. The nothingness of the seed basically means that the seed has grown, because the power, the creative energy that's found in that seed has now been absorbed in the creative energy of the earth. So you see, creating a in-between, an interim, where there's a sense of nothing, doesn't do much. What you have to do is not create a sense of nothingness through destruction, but a sense of nothingness by being absorbed in something greater. Let's say, for example, you are an accomplished scholar. Well, you will never grow further if you consider your knowledge complete. When you will become frustrated with your lack of knowledge, that's an opening for you to grow. But if you don't merge into something bigger to try to absorb more knowledge from greater people than you, to read more books, instead you just stay home and you get saying to yourself, I'm so smart and yet I'm not smart. Yeah, you're something turning into nothing, and you will remain in that state of nothingness. It's the idea of disintegrating or changing your external part of you that allows you to go to the next stage, to merge into something higher. The Jewish people are great people. God does not pick the Jewish people because they're nothing. God picks his people because they're everything. They're wonderful. They have every attribute that a human being could have. In the positive, the Jewish nation has that in abundance. And that's how he chose us. And then we have a period of what we call exile. And that period of exile could be likened in a seed merging into the ground. It's not for the purpose of destroying the seed. It's for the purpose of allowing the creative energy of the seed to burst forth and to create so much more. So one seed could ultimately give birth to a tree, which ultimately gives birth to infinite amount of seeds. So we are something that go through a period of what we would call nothingness. In Hebrew, the word is ayin, yesh, something, ayin, nothing, for the purpose of a much greater growth, a much greater sense of yesh. This is true on an individual level. It's true in each and every one of us when we look at the growth pattern, where we start off with a blessing, and occasionally we don't know how to appreciate the blessing, or we lose the blessing, or we abuse the blessing. And then the purpose is not to stay there. The purpose is to motivate us to become something greater. The Jewish people are magnificent. Hashem, who chose us and then gave us this period of nothingness for 1900 years, sees how wonderful we are, replete with good deeds, with compassion, with kindness, with a love of wisdom, with a respect for elders, and most of all, with a love of God. Let's hope and pray that very, very soon we see the growth of this nothingness into a much greater future and a more glorious something. Shalom.